We're here at Boom Supersonic in Mojave, California, as the company prepares its XB-1 test plane to break the sound barrier. We're going to talk to the CEO and the chief test pilot to find out all about it, and I may even get to get behind the controls of the simulation. Watch to the end to find out how I did.
I mean, imagine leaving the East Coast in the morning, being in Europe in time for a late afternoon meeting or a dinner, and then if we want, coming back home that same day and tucking our kids into bed.
More than 20 years after the Concorde was retired, supersonic commercial flight could be making a comeback thanks to Boom Supersonic's XB-1 aircraft.
As we speak, it's actually the world's only operational civilian supersonic jet.
Nicknamed Baby Boom, the XB-1 has, at the time of this recording, conducted 11 test flights, reaching a top speed of Mach 0.95.
We'll go supersonic somewhere around flight 12. We're actually really close to breaking the sound barrier for the first time.
Flying the XB-1 is Chief Test Pilot Tristan Brabandere, who I caught up with in the flight simulator he spent so many hours practicing in, where he told me what it's like to fly faster than the speed of sound.
I flew F-18s operationally. It's actually kind of anticlimactic. You feel a subtle change in the flight controls, but unfortunately, you don't get to hear the sonic boom in the airplane that is creating it. The only way you really know is looking at your airspeed indicator.
After we go supersonic once, maybe twice, we'll have really learned everything we're going to need to learn from the XB-1. We'll put this airplane in a museum, and the men and women that built it are going to move over and work on the Overture airliner and the Symphony engine that powers it.
Overture is what all Boom's work has been leading up to, a commercial passenger aircraft capable of supersonic flight.
It is a 64-seat supersonic jet that flies at Mach 1.7, twice as fast as a Boeing or Airbus. United's ordered, American ordered, Japan Airlines has a pre-order. Airlines want this, passengers want it, suppliers are there. We just got to get it done.
Boom has over 20 years of technological advancements, as well as lessons it learned from studying the failure of the Concorde to help bring its vision of supersonic travel to life.
Concorde is famous for that droop nose. Why was that needed? Well, a long, skinny airplane that lands with the nose high, it's hard for the pilots to see the runway to land, so they would move the nose out of the way to give the pilots a view. Well, today we've got this amazing thing called a camera and a screen.
We've got two cameras mounted on the nose gear. One goes to the display directly in front of me, and one goes to the display on the right. So it almost feels like I'm looking straight through the aircraft.
For the day that we fly supersonic, we'll take off here out of Mojave Air and Spaceport. We'll open up the throttles, we'll come back and land where we took off, roughly 45 minutes, an hour after takeoff.
So as we get closer to the speed of sound, pitch, the way the aircraft moves up and down, may become more sensitive and difficult to control. So I'm always listening to the aircraft in terms of pitch, as well as roll and yaw. Roll, rolling motion, and then yaw is a side-to-side motion. The other thing we're looking for is called flutter. Flutter is when the air interacts with the structure in a way that causes vibrations that have a tendency to get bigger over time rather than smaller over time. Those are usually disastrous or catastrophic that cause the airplane to come apart. We're very careful about approaching each one of those test points, taking small bites of airspeed and altitude in order to safely approach our end goal of going supersonic. So this is the same airspace that Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier for the first time. A lot of history in this airspace. It's really cool to get to fly in the same place where all that happened. So here at 34,000 feet, we can see the Mach number ticking up. By the time we get here, getting ready to go supersonic, we will have already spent some time at 0.95 and made sure that it's safe. Now the Mach indicator is ticked over 1.0, and our first supersonic test point, we'll just stop right here at 1.1 in order to make sure that the airplane's safe to go any faster the next time. I can feel a subtle change in the stick as it goes supersonic. Normally, as you go faster, you have to push forward in order to stay level. As you go supersonic, you have to start pulling back for a little while, and then beyond Mach 1.1, I start pushing forward again.
Folks interested in watching the XB-1 break the sound barrier in real time may be in luck.
We've installed Starlink on the chase aircraft. With any luck, we'll have the first supersonic air-to-air live stream.
Boom has already completed construction on its super factory, which will churn out 33 Overture aircraft a year to start, with plans to expand.
Our goal is to carry the first passenger in about 5 years. Our airline customers like United and American will be the ones that ultimately set the prices. On day one, when there are way more passengers than airplanes, probably the fares will be expensive, but our goal is to get those down over time.
I'm thrilled that I get to be the one to take it through the speed of sound for the first time, but I'm really just one part of this team, and I certainly couldn't have done it all on my own.
Now, about my spin in the simulator. Geppetto walked me through everything step by step, telling me what I needed to do. As you can see, I had my concentration face on. Geppetto helped me take off and go supersonic. There were some bumps along the way.
So if you want to pull the throttles back.
Pull do I need to pull the
right? That'll perfect. Well, that shuts them off.
Oh.
Too far.
Okay.
Too far.
And my landing was a little rough.
Pull back, pull back, pull back.
Okay.
A little bit hard, but
A little rough landing, yeah. You think
cool.
I would have survived that landing?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you, man. But overall, I had a great time. What do you think of supersonic flight? Let us know down in the comments. And if you'd like to see another supersonic aviation video, you can click right here. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'm your host, Jesse Orrell. See you next time with the fam.